All right, do it, buddy.
Woo!
Yay! So I don't have a lot of comedy tonight. I'm not feeling very well. I have a bit of a flu. And I'll start off with, have you heard about the terrorist who had Tourette syndrome? He was a ticking time bomb.
Oh.
Oh, gosh. Anyway, was anyone watching? I was watching CNN today, and they had this really freaky live coverage of that Kim Davis character. She was being let out of what was it? Out of custody because she was in jail. They for refusing to do her job. And what I thought, this thing turned into a circus in about 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds, because I only watched it for like just as she was coming out, but apparently the coverage has been going on all day. Right. I had no idea what was actually there. Think of this from my point of view. I'm just thinking this is going to be like a standard perp walk, where she's just going to get let out. There'll be protesters and cameras. Dude, WWE showed up is what happened. They had this huge flatbed truck that pulled off that you could not see on the close-up. It was kind of off to the left somewhere, right? So all you see is some people start coming out, and then the theme song from the Chicago Bulls starts suddenly playing, like this, right? Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to humble ourselves before God. Mike Huckabee! Right, and there's Mike Huckabee coming out like John flippin' Cena, pumping his arms in the air. I thought John Cena was going to come out and going, oh no, John Cena, he just body slammed Richard Dawkins. Oh, he's out of the ring. Oh, he just stole Stephen Hawking. He just pushed Stephen Hawking's chair over. Oh, he's thrown Stephen Hawking's chair into the ring, and he just smashed it over Sam Harris's head. I mean, this damn thing was the most unbelievable circus I've ever seen in my life. And all they did, and by the way, when she came out, what did they have? They had Eye of the Tiger playing.
Oh, please.
Christ. Eye of the Tiger while she's marching out there. I'm thinking, Christ, what, are they going to put gloves on her and have her beat up on Rocky Balboa? There's Rocky 6 for it. Well, it was just the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen, so I'll have to let that go there. Okay, on top of not feeling well, I've been kind of crippled from last week because I just signed up for, I told you I was at a dojo, and I haven't been fighting or anything like that. You don't kick us and punch us and do whatever. It's these insane exercises they come up with. And they had this one that really seemed simple at first, but oh my God, does it take so much out of you? And it was, we had this one lady, she was a black belt, who could, do like spinning drop kicks and all this crazy stuff. She says, you're just going to do squats, right? So you just go down, you go up, you go down, you go up, right? Nothing to it. But this is the added thing they put onto it. When you rest in this position. I said, this is not really a resting position. This actually makes this incredibly difficult. And, she told me, don't worry, this will be a resting position from now on, because this is how you're going to be walking for the rest of the week. That's how you recover. I mean, oh my God. And that's how I felt after that. That was really messed up. All right, so I got one joke for you here. And it's called $10. $10 is $10. Now this is a story going way back. Do you remember when there were what they call barnstormers? There was people that did flying, and hardly anyone had ever seen a plane in most places that they would visit. Like the plane itself was the attraction, and that was called barnstorming. And they used to charge people back then a lot of money just to fly in an airplane. Like to us, $10 is nothing, but in the 1920s, try to think how much that must have been. $10 for a ride, just one ride for going up for 5 minutes. That's a lot of money, right? So this one guy, his name's Stumpy, and he had a wife, Martha, and they would go to the state fair every year. Every year, Stumpy say, Martha, I'd like to ride in that plane. Martha say, I know, Stumpy, but that airplane ride costs $10, and $10 is $10. Well, this went on for years and years, and finally, Stumpy and Martha went to the fair, and Stumpy said, Martha, I'm 71 years old. If I don't ride that airplane this year, I might never get another chance. Martha replied, Stumpy, that airplane ride costs $10, and $10 is $10. And the pilot overheard them. And he said, look, I'm going to make you a deal. I'll take you both up for a ride, and if you could stay quiet throughout the entire ride and not say one word, I won't charge you. But if you just say just one word, then it will cost you $10. Right? And Martha agreed, and they went. Well, this guy's, of course, he's setting them up. He's a stunt plane rider. What is he going to do? He's going to flip that plane all over the place like a crazy man. Who the heck could not scream during something like that, especially if you've never been in a plane before? So he's flipping this thing. He's doing loop-de-loops. He's taking it down to the ground, knocking it through the trees and whatnot, just to try to scare the hell out of these people. He did everything he could, and they were absolutely perfectly quiet throughout the entire thing. And finally, when the guy had exhausted himself, the pilot, and he leveled out the airplane, and he looked back to Stump, and he said, "That's amazing. For a pair of beginners, your people were just incredible. I mean, I did everything I could to get you to say something, and you're perfectly quiet." And Stumpy replied, "Well, I was going to say something when Martha fell out, but $10 is $10. And that's all for tonight, everybody.
Is that it? All right. All right. Well, great. Fantastic. Hey, guys, look at this. We've got a whole show in here. We got a couple more minutes left. It's after a couple minutes, but who cares?